Just as a heads up, I will be using the Skullman redesign model rather than the Fuseman model for two key reasons. One, I believe it represents me way more, and two, the Fuse model is beyond outdated at this point. Plus, I don't need to animate a mouth, which is always a good thing. Hello, this is Fuse, and after basically a whole year, I finally finished my most ambitious personal project to date, redesigning each and every single Rolemaster from Mega Man 11, and man oh man, it was a doozy. But the massive passion that I have for this game made the journey more than worth it. I have a lot of things to talk about regarding this project, so I guess I can begin by answering a question.
But why though?
Which I actually have quite a simple answer to. We just have to dial back in time a little. Ever since I was a kid, I always had the dream of becoming an animator. Due to the love and passion I had for the animated shows or films I used to watch at the time, either TV or online, with even a super ambitious dream of making a full-on animated short pilot one day. So I had to ask myself what medium I wanted to start animating on. Seeing that I was very bad at drawing, I still am, I settled to start in the 3D field of animation, cause I thought it would be miles easier to learn something new than working on something I suck at. So when I was 15, I started a course for Blender 3.0 in Udemy, and after dropping it halfway through, I created my first ever 3D character. Yeah, not so good, but I naturally wanted to use characters that, you know...
What is this? It looks like this bloody plastic elastic hand looking toy things that had a string on it. If you throw at them into a wall, they would stick on those things. Those children toys, yeah. Just a massive ingot on her bloody elbows again. Just look at this edge flow. It goes from the head to the arm. Like, what? You can see this is professional work right here, especially on this area. This, you have never seen such amazing goddamn topology optimization for a single character in your whole life. And this was crafted by a 16-year-old kid. Like, man, I was a prodigy. Jesus Christ, it's so bad.
So I immediately thought of looking up 3D character models of the Mega Man 11 Masters to make animations with, because I love the game so much. There must be at the very least 2 or 3 really kind souls out there that have done even the most mediocre of jobs. Are you f***ing kidding me? There was literally not a single human being on this entire planet Earth who has done the hyper-specific task of making photorealistic, redesigned, re-rigged versions of all the masters from 11 in a cohesive art style so I could employ them for animations. I wasn't asking for much, you know? I mean, there were 3 models I found by 2 different people. 2 Fuseman models and 1 Torchman model, one of them in a chibi style and the rest in a low poly style respectively, but they didn't release the rigs, so that was for naught. And also using the original models wasn't an option because I'll have to re-rig them all individually by hand if I wanted to use them in Blender. And also they look kinda crappy up close. So looking back at all that, I just thought,
Fine. If nobody has made it before, then I will become the first one to make it.
and so I settled. Started with the Fuse model, for obvious reasons. Putting in all the effort I could into making him the most animatable model I have ever done. So then I quit the idea and started to make my own characters again. Seeing that this was gonna be a little bit more difficult than I had anticipated, I decided to dial back a little bit, and instead of focusing on making characters of my own, I decided to do what I had originally planned. So I made Blastman and Impact Man within 2 months back in 2022. Seeing how positively they were received online, I thought,
Wow, this seems to be a good idea after all. And it wasn't even that hard. Maybe I can do this with all the masters. Maybe I can even make them all and have them ready for the 5th anniversary of the game.
yeah, sure thing, buddy, as long as Stan doesn't have any other plans for you. And so here I am, with more than 10 fully rigged models under my belt, some collabs and some mini projects, I am way beyond the skill level I ever thought I could achieve. Now, this doesn't mean that the project was a flawless success. I definitely didn't end up getting the style cohesion I wanted due to my skills exponentially rising as I made more and more models. Which also brings me to the animation aspect of the whole project and pretty much the main goal of it. It failed, alright? Or at the very least, with the hardware I currently have, it's simply not worth it to animate anything using these models because of the ridiculously high rendering times and processing power they require on the viewport to preview animations without having to render the whole thing. And it only got worse ever since Bounce Man. As well as specific masters having specific issues like Acid Man's feet or Torchman's fire, for instance. But despite all that, I still believe that this project was a success for the most part. It taught me about deadlines, organization, scheduling, character design, sculpting, modeling, rigging, networking, taking feedback, finances, mental stability, discipline, how to run away from the police with a blood-stained knife in your hand. Now let's discuss the future of the Fuseman project going forth.
First of all, you may have noticed that I swapped my name from Fuseman to Faulty Fuses. And it is indeed for rebranding purposes. Not too much though. I wanted a name that was easy to remember and recognize, but also that had similarities to my former username, so I can keep the Fuseman legacy with me. And also want to stop giving the first impression that I'm a role-playing account based on my name alone. Like, no.
And also I wouldn't want to get used by Capcom. To get used like a toy. Well, I'm a Mega Man fan. I get used like a toy every single day of my life. Not only by Capcom, but also emotionally with myself. And also I wouldn't want to get sued by Capcom if they find my work, you know? You cool?
No, you suck!
Cool. Now, the big talk. Let's discuss future projects.
What?
I have literally zero idea what I want to do next.
Because right now I have 3 different things that I want to focus on. Mega Man Art, learning animation with the Rollmasters,
Or start by doing original stuff, for which I have a lot, and I mean a lot of groundwork already done, and a whole host of ideas for.
Why would they be for, you may ask? You're gonna have to wait and see. All I can say is that you've been around for long enough and remember, and even like this character. All I can tell you is that I'll be bringing her back, revamped with a bunch of new faces.
Despite that I want to opt for making my own characters and stories right away, I still don't feel that I'm quite done with Mega Man just yet.
Especially when it comes to the Mega Man Zero series. So in turn, I will be doing 4 things for the time being. Making animations and renders with the Rollmasters occasionally, work on more original stuff and make more Mega Man related stuff as a whole.
And when it comes to other miscellaneous stuff, I've been thinking very deeply about making a Patreon or a Ko-Fi so y'all can support me going forward in a more meaningful way. Especially now since I have plans on updating my hardware from my tiny wee little peewee laptop to an actual computer, so I don't have to sit through and witness my favorite 20-hour feature-length film called Waiting for My Render to Complete. This option would also greenlight the idea of releasing all the Rollmasters to y'all for free. Except Blast and Fuse. They look like complete ass. So you can do whatever you want with them. On top of that, or interchangeably, I'm not sure which one yet, will be to open up commissions. Though the only thing against that is that my style takes a really long time to make, and I wouldn't want to get filled up with like 3 different comps and 2 projects all at once on top of life being a huge bitch as it is.
Though even to this day I'm still skeptical about either of those.
But I'll give you guys an update for when I make my choice. Also, I want to start seriously practicing 2D art, since it will go a long way to speed up everything. Will it be an overload? Absolutely. Do I care? When in hell have I ever cared about my own mental sanity? What do you think I am, sane?
That's it, I'm done.
Special thanks and shoutouts to all the people that are being showcased on screen, as well as a bunch of viral people that know who they are. And sorry for the insanely high drop rate when it comes to posts. There was way too much stuff that happened to me behind the scenes related to my mental state and just life stuff in general, both good and bad. But now, I'm just happy that this video is finally out after literally being in the making for a whole year. This went through so many rewrites, changes of pace on the light that it just ended up overwhelming me and burning me out quite a lot. But hey, better late than never, right? Yeah. Well, I gotta bail. Corpses don't get buried by themselves now, do they?
Wait, where'd you get that piano?
What piano?